Hello, welcome to Cultural Spectrums and Jazz Pearls. I'm your host, Eric Frazier. We have a fantastic program in store for you today. We hope you'll enjoy it. Hey, good afternoon. How you doing? I want to thank your principal for inviting me here, and we're very happy to be here to present to you the benefits of education. And we hope you will benefit from this as much as well. That is Isaiah Frazier. That's my nephew. He's here to assist you. And thank you very much. Now, are you juniors and seniors or all seniors? Okay, fantastic. So that music, I recorded a music called Graduation, and that's recorded for you. So at some point, I'll get some CDs here to your principal so you can have it. Maybe you can play it for graduation. Okay, so I'm Eric Frazier, and I was a former school principal and education executive and all like that. But right now, I'm making my way as a jazz artist. Because you know how it is in life. You start one way, and life takes you like a tree, all these different branches. So that's what happened, and I have 10 CDs out. The latest one came out in March, and in 2006 I had a #1 CD across the country on jazz radio stations. So you never know what twists and turns and what gifts you have, because we all have gifts, and we have many of them. But it's up to our, it takes a whole village to raise a child, they say, but it's up to our environment, the people around us, and our own aspirations and inspirations to really dig in to bring out those gifts that we all have, okay? And so it's a pleasure to be able to find them, and the journey is just amazing. So you are young people, and I'm going to tell you your journey is going to be amazing. It'll be one that you probably can write a book about, just as well. Okay, so first thing I want to talk to you about is some people that you meet in your journey will be trained, some people will be educated. And how will you know the difference? What is the difference? Can anybody have an idea of what's the difference between somebody who's trained and somebody who's educated?
I would say the difference between someone who's trained and someone who's educated is someone who's trained may be like conformed to think one way or like in a one path thinking, while someone who's educated can like form their own opinions based off the knowledge that they learned from other individuals.
Amazing. What's your name?
Dakota.
Dakota, very nice name. Anybody else?
It's just natural. Yeah, pass that thing.
Anybody else? Pass the mic. Yeah.
I feel as if someone who's trained, they're taught how to do something, but they're not truly intaking like what they're doing to do it. It's just one mindset. They know how to do it. If someone who's educated, they really like divest in it and like look into it to know what they're doing, why they're doing it, and I guess being more interested in it. Training is just doing it for a certain reason, and being educated is really being interested in it and why you're doing it.
What's your name?
Destin. Destin.
Destin?
Yes.
Great job in school. Anybody else? So, actually, the definitions you gave could have been right in the dictionary, because you are actually right on point. And I got to say, from that move right there, you're doing a heck of a job here at this school. Oh, let's give your principal a hand. Come on. I'm writing a grant now to follow kids who are interested in maybe teaching, going to education, into college, and then following them 3 to 5 years after college, and training them, educating them, and training them to teach kids. And with one of the main factors being able to motivate kids, inspire kids, See, back in the day, when you wrote lesson plans, you know, every teacher, when you go into classroom, they got a plan already. They've been up all night trying to get ready. So what happens is that in every lesson plan, there had to be a part where you had to do motivation. What were you going to do to motivate those kids that day? Okay, what were you going to do to get the kids into what you do? Okay, so for example, I taught science. So, you know, and we were in junior high school, you know, kids always come in class with candy, like some of y'all got candy in bags, candy, potato chips, and that kind of stuff. And so I'm looking at it every day, and I say, hey, all right, so I'm teaching science. So I says, okay, Dexter, you got some potato chips in your bag? I know Dexter brings potato chips every day. And he said, no. I said, come on, man, I know you got potato chips. Take it out. Takes it out. I said, Ella, I'm not going to take your chips. Empty the chips into something. Empty the chips. All right, blow up the bag. Blow up the bag. All right, keep it blown, hold it tight. All right, let me have the bag. So I get the bag. Boom! What happens?
Pops.
Pops! I said, hey, what went off? What happened just now? And first of all, there was kids who were just blousing around the class. Oh, that part, like, what the heck is going on there? So, and then that was the beginning of being able to teach about the forms of matter. Matter takes up space, and it has weight. It has and gases. Air is a gas, and so you talk about the forms of matter and their property. You got the kids involved, and now and then things like that, they don't forget. They'll be 30 or 40 years old, and they'll think back to that because your mind is just like that laptop you got there, it's a computer. There's things that happen to you when you're a baby that you won't even think about until maybe you might be 50 years old. Oh my God. So things like that in life take place all the time. So, you know, just be open, be prepared. All right, let's turn to page 27 in the book and see what they say. See what I say. Let's give this brother the mic. All right, what's your name, son?
Shahir.
Shahir. Okay, and could you read for us page 27, the second paragraph, and let's see what they say.
First, we can agree that a trained person is someone who has acquired skills which are necessary to do a particular job or fill a specific role. It may not be essential to utilize those skills outside that role, and therefore require any incentive to take into consideration their impact on other factors. One follows a recipe to be utilized no matter the situation, and the other uses various situations to dictate the course of action. Even though we are among the highly educated societies of the world, we are still lacking in producing the potential inspired in our people. Endeavors to enhance our educational goals and objectives have lagged behind our needs for desired growth and prosperity.
All right, let's give a hand to my man right there. And let's give a hand to these brothers right here, because they definitely gave the exact definition that we're talking about in the same definitions in the dictionary. Do what you do, and whatever research you need, whatever people you need to give you information, whatever support you need, you set it up. Set up your whole empire for you to be successful. Cool? So then, if we know the difference between those two things, what is education supposed to do? What's education supposed to do? Hey, so you're educated, so what? What's it supposed to do? Why are you going to school all these years? This is your 12th year. What is it supposed to do? What is it supposed to look at? Huh? We doing it just because, like, we have to? I know part of it. Yes.
I feel that education is used to, I guess, guide one, give one the knowledge to then be able to formulate opinions or make decisions. Because once you're educated, then you're able to, you have the knowledge to now think about things for yourself. And then once you formulate those opinions, that'll guide you in life in different ways.
Okay, that's very cool.
I think that education is basically just to set you up for your future, have you, like Destin said, have you, make you able to formulate your own ideas and career, and what you want to do in your career, what you want to be in life, and give you the idea of how you want to carry yourself.
Did we get your name?
My name is Gershom.
Gershom? Very nice.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
I agree with both Gershom and Dustin. I think that education sets us a boundary of where we're going to set up in life. Because each day we're in school, we're obviously going to be educated and learn new things. And those new things are going to set us up for obstacles in the future for where our careers are going to lead us to. My name is Muhammad.
Muhammad, very nice, very nice. Anybody else? What do we hear from some of the young ladies? What you thinking about? You know, this world right now is all about young ladies, women doing so many different and new things. Liberty just won. The vice president just ran for president. You got so many things going on. Oprah Winfrey buying cars and everything for hundreds of people. What you thinking?
Education is basically what all three of them said. It's to prepare you for the future and like the real world. Like, how would you go on about living every day without being educated on different stuff you're gonna see every day? So I think it's just to prepare you for the real world.
Okay, very good. Very good, the real world. And your name again?
Ariana.
Ariana. Okay, fantastic. Anyone else? Okay. Yes. So, okay, all right. So, education is what they said, okay? Now, let's talk about what education is supposed to do according to the institution of education, the school, and the Central Board of Education or Department of Education. Now, let's turn to page 29. 29. Now, I need a reader here. Okay, my man. Muhammad,
The mic.
these young adults have the mic so they can pass it around, okay? It's your responsibility, okay?
Yes, sir.
You got it, Muhammad.
These issues have evolved to permeate systems throughout society from which we have yet to recover. Therein lies the relevance of education as a modicum of balancing how people function together in society. It is distinctly my perspective that examples of some of the characteristic value traits that can be acquired from studying education are as follows. A value and appreciation for the following: learning,
All right,
exploring.
hold up. Let's take one at a time as we go, okay? Let's see what y'all think. Discuss it, okay? First, value of education, appreciation and value for learning. What you think about that? Appreciation and value for learning. What you think? Let me get the mic.
Mike.
Let's go. Yeah, what you think?
I think the value and appreciation of learning is like it's important because if you don't value learning, you're not taking it into like I guess use it against things that will bury yourself. You're just using it and taking it in just to take it in. If that makes sense.
Absolutely, I understand that. Absolutely. And you know what? What's your name, first?
Josiah.
Josiah?
Yeah, Josiah.
Oh, Josiah. Did y'all hear him? Did you hear what he said?
Yeah.
You heard it?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, people just go through motions to do what they do. And, but that's where 90% of the people are. Okay, you say, all right. Reading. Do you see people in your environment reading? Do you see your friends reading, your adults reading, your family reading? Let me know what's up. Do you see that happening? Okay.
Not for personal enjoyment, no.
Not for personal gain? Okay. Well, what do you think about that?
Crazy.
Tell me. Speak up. Tell me something. I know what you tell me. It's all right. What you think? Give him the mic. What's your name, son?
My name is Joseph.
Joseph. Okay, speak up, Joseph. Let me know what's happening.
I said I already see my family members or anybody reading books like that because they're too indulgent in social media and what's going on in today's world. And I said I don't really think much of it because I'm not a lot of myself. I don't really read books, but I get a lot of information off of others.
Okay. So you do research. Okay. So as a matter of fact, that is one of the values of education, a value and appreciation for research, which a lot of you do, because you're on the internet finding out all kinds of stuff. You want to say something? Let's get to mine. And what is your name, sir?
My name is Kyle.
Kyle?
Kyle.
Kyle, okay.
I feel like the ability to read is very undervalued because some people in this world, they don't have like the, I guess you would say, the opportunity or like the educational value to like read or learn how to read. So like for some, like for instance, my family, they're not from America, so like the country that they come from, they didn't really like get the same educational opportunities that we get in America. So it was very hard for them to like learn how to read. So I feel like that in today's society, that the fact that people don't really read, like very like undervalued and like not taken that serious as it should be.
Wow. Okay, that's amazing. Okay, a value for exploration. You see something going on, hey, what is that all about? Now you want to explore it, like you'll be doing every day when you go on the internet, right? Is that right? Okay, now you want to explore it, man. What? Okay, you seen a big whale in the ocean, and you seen an eagle sitting on top of it looking for fish to eat. You seen the eagle way high up on top of a mountain so high only planes can fly up there 12,000 feet, diving down all the way down. They see fish down there, and go and get something to eat. And you exploring, what is all that about? How can they see like that? Why do they have that kind of a diet and appetite? All kinds of things. You know, don't never stop thinking, and don't worry about it because you can't, not y'all, because y'all are thinkers. I'm looking at you right now, I see minds turning, I see people thinking and all of that. And guess what other thing? Now when you're in school, okay, all right, the teachers, we're gonna learn this from teaching this that. A lot of the learning, just like what's going on right now, comes from y'all. Learning from each other right there in the classroom. Somebody says something, you didn't respond to it, but you said, oh, okay, you thought about it later. That's we call that horizontal learning. Okay? And that's the kind of learning that we want to have more so than having me or anybody stand up in front of you and go, oh, blah, 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 you know, so forth. You know. But it's all good. It's all good in the neighborhood, like they say. Okay? So, all right, a value for research. Like my brother right here was talking about. Research. Hey, man, anything you want to know, research it. Research it. Research it. Okay? What you do. I know you do that. A value for discovery. Discovering new and different things. Making your life more beautiful and beneficial than when it was before. A value for innovation. Making new things happen. Invention. Do you know how many inventions we have made? All these different inventions, the traffic light, the locomotives, the computer, space inventions. Have you seen that picture where the assistants developed and all of these different types of mechanisms in order for us to go up into space? Hidden, I think it's called Hidden Figures, is that the name of that?
Yeah.
Yeah, have you seen that? Have you seen it? Raise your hand. Okay? Fantastic, fantastic. And that was all about women. These were women in there who were telling the cats what to do and so forth. The cotton gin, they say Elijah, whatever his name, invented the cotton gin. No, he didn't. The slave invented that cotton gin. And so forth and so on. All these different inventions that made, I'm going to say the quote, made America great, because of the ingenuity that you had from years ago. And they just took it on themselves and said, yeah, we invented it, and that's what they just do. So, all right, so we're going to move on. Now, a value and appreciation for more stuff. This is what education is supposed to do. A value and appreciation for study, like you do. A value and appreciation for scholarship. Oh man, don't back away from somebody who's knowledgeable, whether they're your age or older or younger. No, sit down and see what makes that person tick. How did they get there to where they're at with their perspective and so forth? What have they been reading? What have they been researching? So it's a value for scholarship, okay? And we want to keep that at the top of the list, okay? Because everybody in here, you're all scholars, okay? So, you know, what you do is going to be part of the leadership of the new age, okay? And I want you to believe that, because you might think, oh, no, not me, yeah, you. Okay, you. It's all about you. Okay? So, a value for lifelong learning. Guess what? Never stop learning. Because the more you learn, it changes you, it affects you. It changes how you eat. It changes how you look. It changes how you interact with people. It changes how you place in priority various things in your life. It gives you longevity, okay? And so don't ever stop learning. Well, I don't know about y'all because people like you don't stop learning, okay? you're the type, okay? So, the other thing is this, education gives you a value and appreciation for academic subjects like math, social studies, current events, history. Hey, you know what they say about history? If you don't learn from the past, you do
to repeat it.
to repeat it, okay? So you see things going on like what's going on today, these things happened before. Whether it happened here in our country or in other countries, they happened before. And there's things to be learned from. And we're having problems here with people in the country because they don't know history. They don't know academics. They don't know science. Global warming, there ain't no such thing as global warming. Oh, what did you study? Okay? So you know where we're coming from with that, right? All right, so value for reading, value for languages. Man, as you go along in life, yes, it'd be very good to learn other languages, you know. And so that's amazing. I'm still learning languages. The ones I know a little bit of French. Funny food, I'm saying, yeah, merci bien, a little bit, and also a little Spanish, but it'd be good. It'd be good because, as you know, we're becoming more international as we go along, and it's been very helpful for it's networking, understanding, and interacting with other people. All right. So, value for technology, which you already value. I see that, and keep doing that. A value for writing. Now, you know one thing about writing. Writing is people's most weakest academic area. Why? Because they don't write. But write. Do whatever you can. Write. So I've been writing a poem every morning for, let me see, 2.5 years. So it's already about a couple of books. And I write things and I send it to a couple of my friends. And it's just to get them set for the day. And let me see, I'll just read something that I just wrote today. It's a poem. And it goes like this here. It says, hey, good morning, brothers Wayne, David, and Ron. There's something about a day made just for you, like the scent of lilac in the air that passes through, and the song of what a difference a day made can do, with a dream of beauty that brings you to a reality bright and fair that lives within you. Mm-hmm. Hey, if you like to rhyme, write some rhymes and run. Okay? Do what you want to do.
Beloved, can you tell them how you got into education?
Yes.
Why did you get an education?
Okay. All right. I got an education. Let me tell you a real story. I got an education because back when I was coming through, I was in college, and they were drafting people going to the Vietnam War. And I said, oh, no, I can't go to war. I couldn't do it. They had up to 3,000, everybody had a number up to 3,000. So I said, oh, man, what was my number? They sent me the thing. My number was number 5. I said, oh, no. I'm going to research everything I got to do. Some people were doing all kinds of stuff now. You're going to have to, this is real, okay? You had people who going, they said, okay, they went there, signed it up, going into the army or whatever. And then they said, guy said, oh, I got to use the bathroom. So then he goes away. And they said, damn, he didn't come back. Where's the guy? You go in the bathroom, and the guy has peanut butter. And he's in there eating the peanut butter. They said, oh, no, this guy, he can't go to the army. So you're out of here. So people were doing everything they needed to do to not go in the army. So my thing was, I went into I couldn't go in because of my religious beliefs. Okay, so that's my way of getting out of it. And so in order to do that, you had to go before a review board, and they would question you as to why you can't do it. Well, you could be a medic, and you won't have to fight. And then I had already done my research. I said, no, I couldn't be a medic because if I'm a medic, my job is to, if there's a guy who, he's about dying, his stomach is blowing up, and then there's another cat he chipped his fingernail and he can't, use his instrument. My priority is to go to the guy who chipped the fingernail, let this guy die. I said, my police don't allow me to do that. And they said, no, that right there, I said, okay, he's at it. So I didn't go. So that's how I got an education, because if you go into something that was essential for the natural well-being, then you would be, you don't have to go to the service. All right, so that's how I went into education. Now, I was either going to be a reverend or a teacher. So, teaching thing came first because I got out of college in 3 years. So I jumped into teaching. Then when I got into teaching, one thing I noticed, I said, holy cow. I said, man, I got to grow up. I was like maybe, I was like 20, 21, and the kids were like, I had ninth graders, and they were like only 5 years or so younger than me, 5, 6 years younger than me. So I said, oh man, I got to grow up. I got to be mature to be teaching these kids, you know? And so that changed my life. So I had to start doing my reading, my preparation. I had to start being able to be like not only a teacher, but a guidance counselor. Not only a guidance counselor, a coach that can motivate kids. And not only a coach, but someone with a philosophy that inspires kids. So when I got in there, all kinds of things were jumping off. Kids, they gave me kids that were supposedly like the last kids in the, you know, they couldn't learn but as much as the top kids. All my kids had 80 or above average, and it really went up and so forth. Why? Because I stuck with them. I did stuff. Here's another thing I'm going to talk to you about, a value for homework and appreciation for homework. Because with that, that's the thing where you can have, you can talk to kids. Okay, here's a do now. I went to class. Y'all, something for y'all to do as soon as you come in. And they got what? Now, I want 6, 7 of y'all, you know, we sit right here and we talk to you. How was homework last night? Click, what did you have about anything? Okay, what did you think about that? Blah, blah, blah. You talk with them every day. Guess what happens? They start doing homework every day. Guess what else happens? They start getting their parents involved with them doing homework. Guess what else happens? They start coming to school every day. Right now we've got a big problem with people who even come to school, right? So you get all this stuff happening because you're just following up with young people. And this is what we want to try to build on. So, all right, let's continue with this piece and we're going to move on. All right, so I'm just going to read off. This is what education is supposed to do. Teach you a value for public speaking, a value for languages, a value for nature and ecological relationships. I'm on page 30. A value for economic relationships, teaching you how to use your money, save your money, invest your money, okay? Teaching you what to do with money. A value for the arts, music, dance, theater, sculpture, all these kinds of things, okay? This is the type of person that is supposed to make you. And also a value for aesthetic relationship, home economics, how to do cooking in the home, how to set the table, how to set up for washing clothes, how to pack your clothes, how to manage your household, all that kind of thing. And managing the household is just like managing the business. You got to do the same things, you know, same thing, okay? So then also a value for physical education, okay? Why? This is a big question for me. You look around the country, people are, why do at a certain age all people start going like this and want to sit down all the time? That's not right. That's not right. Okay? So value for physical education, keep it fit and have an energy. A value for special education. I used to be the guy, the chancellor of education. What district is it? It was, yeah, this district, District 16, right here, and I was in charge of making sure that people who were in special education were getting the right services they were supposed to get. Man, you'd be surprised how they had people in different classes with services they don't even need. Okay, y'all know about that, right? So this is the kind of stuff that's going on. And you gotta have somebody got to be home. Somebody got to be manning the table. All right, so a value for neighborhood, value for community, a value for citizenship, a value for government, a value for careers, skills, and education, service to others. Okay, let me just say this. Are you with me on this? Can I continue with this?
Yeah.
Okay, okay, all right, so, all right, value for family. You know, we in our family, we got people with others, some people off, man, you know, but a value for keeping the family together, a value for setting the right example, a value for supporting each other, that kind of thing, you know, and you only do it to the extent that you can, because it cannot be something that becomes an obstacle, okay, because you have to, first of all, nothing can go down in life unless it goes down for you first, and then you can look at helping others. Is that right? Is that right? All right, 5 minutes. All right, look, you have the book. You can read the rest of those, okay? And I just want to go say value for good decision making, intuitive cognitive thinking, and so forth. All right? Go through that. Now, where we at? All right. Let me ask you something. How will you personally benefit from being educated? Where's the mic?
I was asking if you could restate what you said.
Okay. I was saying, how can you, young lady, how can you personally benefit from being educated?
Oh,
Okay? Somebody gonna speak? I want you to tell me. I'd like to hear each one of you say how you think you could personally benefit from education. You got it?
well, I feel like I could benefit from, I could benefit from education because, like, without education, really, I mean, you could make it in life, but the chances of it is, like, pretty low. So I feel like with the education, you build many things like critical thinking skills. You learn more about yourself and your history. You, like, writing and stuff, you get better with that. And a lot of people, professional, like advisors or people who hire, they look at you more than other people who don't have the education or don't, like, value education. So, I mean,
Good point.
Yeah. Who else?
I agree with Josiah, and also to add on, like, I've always been told that your education can be taken away from you. So if you throughout your life, like, that can benefit you when it comes to, like, getting a job, taking care of your family, whatever you aspire to be. So yeah.
Amazing.
Well, I think if you aren't educated, you can't make it in life because without being educated, your ideas and your opinions are only going to be conformed around what other people think of you. So then that would just restrict you and confine you to just a box, to only certain ideas you think you can reach or put you only under certain limits. So being educated allows you to see yourself in positions where traditionally you're not, being able to be seen as a doctor, as a man of color, especially in America, seeing yourself in certain positions can be a struggle if you're not educated. So being educated allows you to, go outside what traditionally is seen as the role of the black man in America.
Take a minute.
I think education.
What is your name?
Oh, my name is Samir, and I think education is often looked down upon or taken for granted by many people, especially within the black community. I think that education is taken for granted because our ancestors have fought very hard for us to get to this point where education is given to some of us for free or at a low cost. And that goes for colleges too, because recently HBCU was burned down. And I find that crazy because education is, for many people, the only way to become successful. And I just find it sad that some people want to take education from many people.
You got the mic.
You got the mic. Mr. Burke.
Yeah. Now, how can education personally benefit you?
I would say that education personally benefits me because it gets me prepared for the world, actually. I believe that people do need education to survive. Like, you can live without education, but to really survive in this society and this economy, you really need, like, extra support. And if you know nothing, if you're willfully ignorant, then how can you succeed and how can you elevate in life instead of just staying in the same place because you don't know how to exceed?
Okay, last one.
Firstly, for me, education is important because, as Kyle said earlier, my parents came from a background where they weren't really educated, and they came to the United States about education, and they sacrificed everything for me to have an education. So I think it's important for me to become educated. I'll be able to pass down my education and what I learned down to my kids, and I can teach them of the past and like what has happened. Because recently, I heard that they're trying to take away like certain things, and we won't be able to educate certain things. Like in Texas, they're not able to educate African American history anymore. So I think that that's very important.
Very good. Wishing you all the best. So when you get to see the principal,
Thank you.
so y'all can hear that. That book is yours.
Yes.
Read it. Give feedback. Give principal feedback. Give principal feedback on what you read, and also let your parents know about it. Okay. Great job. Hi, I'm Eric Frazier. I'm the author of this book called A New Educational Paradigm, Perspectives on Education. And I'm going to read to you what the book is about so everything can be succinct and very clear for you. So I invite you to join me in a conversation which discusses current day issues in the field of education. The dialogue examines the goals of education and its role in society. It goes into aspects of the production function of education and characteristic traits it aims to produce in prospective students who will make up the prevailing citizenry of our society. Further, it lays out a program for preparing college students interested in becoming teachers. It takes a novel approach to educating and training teachers. It expands the training to the entire realm of school staff and educational personnel. Additionally, it engages the reader in discourse concerning the teamwork essential for delivering effective educational service from the national level to local levels. It suggests methods of evaluation and oversight to effect needed change in educational efficacy. Also, the new educational paradigm talks about instruction that works. It examines education delivery from the classroom viewpoint. It takes a detailed look at the previous COVID-19 virus pandemic and its impact on educational processes. It makes an analysis of the various levels of government and their impact on educational processes in terms of the bottom line on service levels to local communities. Finally, it completes the discussion by drawing relevant conclusions that serve to offer ideas for significant change in how education is produced in today's society. Well, let me ask you a question. Did you know that the service of education has a number of values that it is charged to deliver to people who are getting an education in the educational system? So these values you may not hear about altogether, but they have been in vogue since 1957, when the Board of Education of New York City put out their values of education. And I have also added to some of those values. And I want you to note that my book, A New Educational Paradigm, Perspectives on Education, you see at the very bottom that it has a little quote there that says, people you thought were educated were trained, not educated. So there's a difference, and that difference I spell out in the book, and you probably can figure it out as well yourself. So, but let me talk to you about what values you're supposed to get once you're educated in the New York City educational system. So, number one, values of education discusses values that amount to outcomes in students that the educational process is designed to produce. Okay, and those values include, number one, a value for an appreciation of academics, social relationships, different philosophies of life, different aspects and cultures, a value for scholarship, a value for citizenship, a value for research, a value for the arts and cultures, a value for learning about people of different cultures, a value for technology, values for vocational skills, value for the sciences, and it goes on. There's a number of values that this educational system is charged to produce, and this is what you will get once you are serviced in that system. So the values that I just mentioned that you get being one who is educated are a few. Now there are many, many more, and I'm just going to mention a few more. How about a value for study, a value for lifelong education, a value for discovery and innovation. And I mentioned the value for the academics, reading, math, social studies, science, and those type things. A value for public speaking, language, ecological relationships, economic relationships. A value for physical education, health education, special education, career skills and career education. A value for community, neighborhood, family, service to others, good judgment, decision making. Value for organization, growth and development, relationships. A value for appreciation for diversity, for human nature, for working well with others. A value for balance, inquiry, knowledge, teamwork, leadership, taking initiative. A value for integrity, positivity, respect, honor, love, manners. All of these things matter. And as you come through the system and say you get 12 years of education, say you go on farther to college and even farther than that. But these are the things that will be characteristic traits of someone who has been educated, who's come up through the system. And mainly, I'm going to say a couple of more, then I'm going to make a comment. A value and appreciation for the following: seeing a task through to its completion, understanding, listening, value for conversation, creative endeavors, inventions. And so with these things in mind, you will understand that education helps one to have the knowledge and value of being of service to each other. And that's all it's all about. It's a simple thing. And so basically, there's a philosophy that says that all things are simple. We complicate them with our own confusion. So that's just a little nugget here. Now I'm going to talk to you about the chapters in the book. I talked to you, that was the first chapter, the value of education. The second one was chapter 2, alternatives to traditional preparation of prospective teachers and system-wide policy decision making. Chapter 3, impact of the coronavirus that had happened previously, and Chapter 4, the environmental factors surrounding safety in schools. Chapter 5 was vaccines and their potential to address positive outcome to control pandemics as the one we experienced, 2020. And also Chapter 6 discusses a system-wide look at training educational personnel. And of course, these areas address how educational personnel are trained for the needs of today's society. Chapter 7 talks about training educational leaders and the hierarchy of education. Now, this section looks at leadership and staff personnel functions necessary to confront system-wide issues during many various types of crises in the schools. Chapter 8 talks about student growth. And this section looks at achievement and better growth outlooks, student achievement, that is. Chapter 9 talks about the community. This segment talks about prospects for better community activities connected to education and the overall support for its goals and objectives. Chapter 10 talks about considerations on school openings. When there's a pandemic and we have to close schools down, as we did in 2020 with the coronavirus, what are the necessary factors we have to look at in order to have successful school openings or school closings when such a pandemic occurs? Chapter 11, Professional Development. This chapter discusses professional development regarding educational personnel and what processes provide optimal contributions to their success. Chapter 12, this chapter discusses the significance of administrators and the role and experience and preparation that play in their endeavors. Okay, and of course, the final chapter is chapter 13, and this gives you conclusions. For example, an overview, it talks about an overview of system-wide processes, procedures, and oversight is given in order to reflect on the effectiveness of educational goals and objectives towards establishing sustained and continued growth in student achievement and fulfillment. Okay, chapter 13 is the final chapter, and this is conclusions. It is an overview of system-wide processes, procedures, and oversight is given in order to reflect on the efficacy of educational goals and objectives towards establishing sustained and continual growth in student achievement and fulfilling the role of education in American society. So you'll have these things and more. And once again, this book is we look at as an example of a conversation that we need to have surrounding our educational efficacy, the growth of our children in schools, and our society at large. Thank you. I'm going to answer a question that's been asked of me recently, and I actually spelled it out in the book, but it's about the idea of students that I recently spoke with, high school seniors, and I'm writing a grant to achieve some to achieve funds for high school students interested in teaching, and where they could receive a grant to go to college free of cost and study in a situation where they have a mentor, a instructor or guidance person from the college, and also a mentor from the particular schools that they would working as students. For example, in this program, it would be sort of like a group set aside so that we could follow them through, not only through college, but through 3 to 5 years after college, once they enter their teaching careers, because they would be taught various skills. And some of those skills will be, one, of course, those skills associated with teaching, specifically motivation, how to motivate students. It used to be back in the day where you did a lesson plan. Part of that lesson plan was you had the objective that you want to achieve for that day with the lesson, and then you have the motivation. How are you going to motivate the students or get them interested or involved in what you had to teach for that day? So it involves certain types of things. Number one, first of all, knowing something about the student. There used to be a time where you would do something like a student interest inventory, where students would fill out something just talking about their various interests and their sort of goals and what they want to do in life, that type of thing. And this way you get to change, you can actually have a conversation or conferences or discussions with students about their interest, and it absolutely helps to motivate students as well as inspire them to move on. Once you can take those experiences and inculcate it into your lesson for that day. For example, if you found that a student was interested in, gaming, or, gaming, and they wanted to find ways to invent new things, find new ideas, new music, or what have you, these are things that can be used in the classroom. So, for example, you could be teaching a lesson. Your lesson could be about, let's say it's a science lesson, society science. And you knew that Bobby's favorite snack was potato chips. And Bobby's always bringing potato chips to school, and somebody's always having to say, put those away, you can't eat. And now, say for example, hey Bobby, listen, I know you got potato chips. No, I don't have potato chips. Hey Bobby, you have potato chips every day, come on now. Everybody in the class knows, all right? So Bobby, take out those potato chips. We're not going to take them from you, we're going to ask you to put them in something else, save your potato chips, and blow up the bag. Blow up the bag and then tighten it up. You blow it up? Yeah, okay. All right, let me have the bag. So I take the bag, boom! I pop the bag, and I ask everybody, especially students who might not be 100% engaged, boom! They go, what's going on in the classroom? Say, hey, why did that sound happen? What happened with that sound? And people start to say, well, it was filled up with air, and then once you popped it, it let all the air out. I'll say, okay, well, that's good, because it's the beginning of some of the concepts involved with the teaching of the three forms of matter. Gases, like air, and solids, and water. So also it's a concept connected with properties of matter, the different properties of matter. Like basically, generally, you know that matter is anything that takes up space and has weight. So that all falls into the category of what happened with that potato chip bag when it busted. First of all, if you weighed it, it would have some weight. You know, if you had it would have weight. Does it take up space? Yeah. Well, how do you know it takes up space? Well, it made the bag blow up, made it widen and so forth. All right. And so now it's something that you could do, and what you did, you used something that they're all involved in, because you know kids like to have snacks, and they're laughing at Bobby because we called him with the potato chips, but it brought out something that you can do with your students and help them to learn things. As a matter of fact, you know your brain is just like a computer. You remember things. The students remember things like that for years, even when they're grown. And guess what? They end up talking to their own children about those kinds of things as well. So these are the kind of things that we wanted to help teachers prospective teachers to learn as they're being groomed to teach children. So it's all about the children. That's their interest. But also, it's about the teacher, because now what does it do? It calls for the teacher to build their not only their resume, but their skills for creativity. Creativity is an important part of lesson planning, creative lesson planning. Lesson plans that are designed to motivate students and as a result inspire students. Okay? And so that's just one small example, but you can probably think of many. And as a teacher, that's the teacher's role every day when they're teaching their students. So And these are the kinds of things that we want to bring into the schools so that teachers are more in tune with students. It helps to add more interest to the lesson. It helps to get more students involved. It helps to have students want to do follow-up work like homework after school, which is another great way to get students involved in schools, because once you're giving homework every day, once you're checking it, once you're having conferences with individual students about their experience at home doing the follow-up work, you'll find that not only will the number of students who are doing homework increase, but now you find that they're getting their parents involved. They're getting their parents involved, and they're involved with the teacher. They're having conferences with the teacher. When the kids come into the classroom, you'll have something for them to do right away. Now, some people call it a do now, something to get the kids engaged in as soon as they come into the classroom. Now, while they're doing that do now can be, 3 to 5 minutes, or maybe at the most 8 minutes if you're going to spend time conferencing with, say, 5, 6 students on what their experience was with homework for that day. But it becomes a round-robin circle that invites the teacher, the student, and the parents to be in this to be one in the growth and development of each student. Hi, thank you for watching. Don't forget, tune in next week to Cultural Spectrums and Jazz Pearls. Same time, same station. Until then, peace be with you.